Then what happened?
Right. And yeah, please tell me more. Yeah, and he's a great storyteller.
He is.
He's a great storyteller.
Yes. Well, speaking of storytelling, I would give you the rundown of how this podcast works, but you know how it works.
I know how this works.
We've done
I know
this.
how this works. Yes, we have done this together.
So I think the only thing left to say is, Ryan, welcome back to the show.
Hey, dude. Hey, thanks for having me again. I was super stoked when I got your text.
Yes.
I was super excited.
I was very, very stoked that you were down to come back on. And I've told you this a handful of times because, obviously since we originally did the podcast, even before that, you were back on Poltergeist years ago. You and I will get together once every 6 or so months and just kind of catch up and talk for 4 hours in a coffee shop somewhere. But in that realm and on a podcast, I know I've told you this, but I'm going to go back on record and saying it. You are literally one of my favorite people to hang out with and talk to.
Jeez,
I'm not just saying that to spice up our conversation. It is so much freaking fun sitting and talking to you about stuff. So I'm very excited that you were down to come back on the show and catch up in general, because not only that, I'm just going to pile on the compliments here at the start for you.
Killing me.
I think I've told you this too. Your episode, the previous one that you were on here on the show, is genuinely one of my favorite episodes of the show.
Oh, no. You've talked to so many people. That's wild.
It really is, because it is what I have labeled essentially just a feel-good episode.
Yeah.
And that doesn't mean that everything we're talking about is perfect and whatever, but it's more so just... It's the vibe that I get from hanging out with you. That's really what it is. It's just we're just talking about just fun stuff, and we're kind of talking about it. You are a great storyteller, and you've experienced so many things, and I feel like you've always pursued life, whether maybe intentionally or unintentionally sometimes. I feel like you're let me collect experiences. Let me try fun things. I know we were kind of talking about that subject pre-recording here. But that's what makes your previous episode literally one of my favorite ones. It is just filled with all this fun stuff, from meeting pro wrestlers to ThanksKilling and to just all these other adventures that you have been on. And I feel like at that time I didn't know necessarily that's what we were capturing, but what I feel like it did capture in hindsight was I feel like it kind of captured the essence that I want this show to feel for someone. Is
awesome.
Hey, here's just fun life stories, or maybe difficult things that have happened in life.
Yeah.
But here's still how we get through them. And so, not to pile it on at the beginning there, I know I just rambled a lot about how great I think you are.
Oh, jeez, dude.
But no, I genuinely do mean it. It's one of my favorite episodes. You're one of my favorite people, and I am stoked to have you back on the show.
Well, I got to tell you, Ross, so I'm out, I waited a little too long to mow the grass today, so the sun was beating down, and this particular time, I'm very specific when I'm listening to music when I'm mowing the lawn, right? Mm-hmm. So my front lawn takes me about 45 to 50 minutes to mow. My backyard takes about the same time. So What's that equate to? A couple album plays. So I've got a lot of time to play air drums and do a lot of vocal performance that I can't even hear because I'm mowing the lawn.
Hey, you know what?
And the thought crossed my head. I'm like, okay, so I'm starting this mowing job at 1, got to be done by 3, shower to get here. And I was just reflecting on the last time that we had talked, and I'm thinking remembering back to our last session. And I say session because it was dude, Ross is like a therapist. He's so good at bringing out emotions and feelings and stories, which I've been able to see throughout the years since you started this podcast. And it's been so cool to see. And I'm just man, if someone deserves the call from Dateline or 2020, someone to ask the real questions and draw out emotion from somebody who's in that hot seat, I'm Ross needs to be that guy. They need to be listening to this thing and get you on board to do something big time, because your collection of stories that you've acquired is incredible.
Yeah,
and you're telling you're helping share a lot of stories from a lot of people, and that's awesome.
Yeah, dude, I appreciate that so much.
Yeah.
And the goal of the show, right? Is like
Yeah.
I could be sitting and trying to get these hot and spicy headlines that'll make good content, and so and so talk shit about blah blah blah.
Right.
But yeah, no, it's exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
It's just capturing stories and sharing those parts. So I'm glad that it's showing that or making those connections maybe to anybody who's listening and checking out the show.
Absolutely.
And on that note of our previous session,
Yeah.
we determined that was 4 years ago at
That's
the point of us
crazy.
recording this, which is absolutely insane. We recorded that in my very first studio that I got here at 400 West. And since then, I've been in three other ones since then. And so obviously so many things have happened. But I'm excited to catch up. Because
Same.
obviously, like I said, we'll get coffee every once in a while. So we're catching up on all the things, talking about all the ideas. But in a more structured form like this, I'm very, very excited to catch up. Because we got 4 years to talk about. And I feel like there is a lot that has been experienced in that 4 years.
Yeah.
And I'm trying to, honestly kind of nail down a starting point. Because I don't necessarily remember where we left off. Which obviously, it would not like we have to like pick up exactly from that spot. But like, I don't even think like Riot Fest stuff
That hadn't happened yet.
Or anything like that.
That hadn't happened yet. Yeah, that's all still kind of like new. You know, for me, it's still fresh. That was a year ago, but it's still
that's right, yeah.
Very, very, like that's all that stuff's fresh.
Yeah.
I mean, when we got together the last time, I mean, we were coming out of that COVID time. Everybody knows how that went. Whether it's pursuing, the job, like I know that a lot of people went back to the office, still working from home, just trying to maintain status quo. And I think I wrote and released like a bunch of music, like 6 or 7 different singles that came out in either 22 or 23. And I was kind of experimenting with Euge releasing like, oh, let's not do an album, let's try releasing one single at a time. And that was weird. Didn't like it. I mean, I think, coming from the 90s and having albums and stuff, it's like, oh, I want a whole list of songs. I want a beginning, a middle, and an end. Like, that's what I want. So the singles thing was kind of weird. Learning, I've really kind of discovered recently that it's like, I'm 40 next year. Did I just say I recently discovered that I'm going to be 40 next year? The realization, it hasn't caught up with me, and I'm finding myself observing little things that kind of freak me out in a weird way. Like, someone said the other night, I think it was my sister. She's like, oh yeah, like if you go out to the bar, bartenders look at your ID and they just see the 19 and they know automatically like you're good.
Interesting.
And I'm like, that does make sense because we're in 25 now. Right, so like, they just see the 19 and you're like, oh yeah, like you're good. So like that's weird. And seeing how music and art has kind of like the shift, like just, I'm going back. I'm the kind of guy, I go back and rewatch all the stuff that I liked when I was a kid, like in the 90s. Like the nostalgia factor is huge. It makes me understand why my parents loved the oldies station. I'm understanding a lot of things that I didn't understand 15, 20 years ago. And it's really hitting now. Like, okay, I remember my dad's 40th birthday. I remember being there for his 40th birthday.
Yeah.
So being in this seat now, it's like, that's been something weird to reflect on.
Do you feel like, and I see this shared probably often on social media and stuff, but do you feel like though that like it is kind of that like, as cliche as it is, like, oh, 40 is the new 30. Like,
yes,
I don't.
I do. I'm like, I'm still like, I'm still like, I'm like, I'm good. Like,
right.
Old is 80 now. Like, it used to be old is definitely 40, like late 30s.
Growing up, someone's like 30s, 40s.
Right.
You're like,
wow.
You decrepit.
Wow, you're so
mummified.
Right.
I'm so sorry. Don't break a hip on the way out. Like,
exactly.
And now. Like, because I've been, and not so much in the realization of like, oh my God, I feel like I'm getting old. Like, I'm 32.
Yeah. Yeah.
But like, still even that like crossing that threshold of like, oh wait, okay, you're over 30, but I don't feel. There's a lot of times I don't feel like a quote unquote adult.
Yeah.
Like I really don't.
Yeah.
Like obviously I handle a lot of things and all that sort of stuff, but like. there's so many things where I'm like, man, I want to write a script for a horror movie and then watch wrestling tonight.
Right,
you know,
right,
like
right.
that's.
We're on the same page. I don't feel old at all. I don't feel like I can adult. I don't like. I'm still completely discombobulated. I don't know what I'm doing.
Right. Has there been any of that? Have there been any of those moments for you, even through like all the things that you've done of like working a lot in the entertainment world? Has there been any of those moments where you've had that internal feeling, or maybe external, somebody telling you, like, where you're like, it's time to grow up, quote unquote? Like, has that thought ever crept in where you're like, should I keep doing this stuff even though I love it? Like,
yeah, I mean, definitely. I've been doing Euge for 16 years now. I celebrated 15 years last year, and had a couple, celebratory shows that went off super well. But yeah, I mean, I think about it sometimes. I'm like, here I am, like, what do you do for a hobby? Well, I rap about toys that I liked when I was a kid.
But that's so much cooler.
I mean, it is, because we get it. But when you're in a room filled with like 50, 60-year-olds, like, there is definitely some like, wait, what did he just say?
Yeah.
And then they'll be like, oh wow, that's so unique. How different. You're like, it is. And I mean, I don't ever plan on stopping what I'm doing, especially on like the basis of feeling like, oh, I'm too old to be doing this anymore. I've always thought, like, I'm going to continue doing what I do until I don't want to anymore.
Yep.
Until the fire burns out, I'm all the way forward. I'm going to keep attacking it, and I'm going to keep doing shows. I'm going to keep writing music until that flame goes away. Mm-hmm. It may not. I don't know. But That's where you just kind of take things a little bit at a time, and that I'm real big into it right now. I'm having a blast. I couldn't be having more fun doing the nerd raps right now. This has been the best year that I've had entertainment-wise. It's been fantastic.
Let's dig into that a little bit. So would you say, like, creatively, is Euge like probably number one thing in your list right now that you've been putting the most energy into actively?
Absolutely. Yeah. I think the last time that we had talked, I spent a lot of time doing ThanksKilling stuff, a lot of time, and that really started to kind of fade. Once the conventions kind of stopped calling, it got that flame had burnt out. Like, I was burnt out from promoting it, and there wasn't the interest that I had previously. Mm-hmm. People are still very interested in it. It still exists. But I'm not actively, having watch parties now. I'm not going as hard as I used to. And I'm just kind of letting that be that for now. And I wanted, after COVID, I was like, I want to put all my energy into like the nerd rap stuff. Like, this is a really good outlet. Like, I love writing lyrics. I like making people laugh. I like making people go, oh, what the hell did I just watch? Mm-hmm. And that's been fun. And last year was the hardest year of my entire life, and it still like affects me like a lot, like today, every day. I lost my mom last April, and there was a period of time when she was getting sick where I would commute from my house in Worthington, and every morning I'd wake up extra early and I would drive down to where she lived, with her husband Kevin, and I would go there to help with my mom. And it was not an easy time period. That started, I think, back in November of 2023, and she passed in April of 24. But I was driving down there every day during the work week, and I would just work from their house, and if help was needed, I'm blessed with a career to where I had the opportunity to be able to help with whatever's going on. But I got to see, where we were at here, and the entire like decline into death. And I've lost people. I've lost some friends. I am blessed to say I hadn't at that point lost anybody that was like a family member, much less my mom.
Yeah.
And there was I've never had a gut punch like that in my life. It sucked. It still continues to suck. Someone had told me in the days leading up to it, they were like, there's two periods in someone's life. That's the period where your mom's there, and then there's the period where she's not. And my mom was very involved with my life. Dare I say, overbearing or helicopter mom. And after she passed, you reflect on all those things, and you're like, wow, was I too much of a dick, like telling her to get off my back? but
Right.
but I mean, yeah. So that was devastating, and still continues to be devastating. I've never had anything so traumatizing like happen. Just makes me freeze. Like, I've never thought about spirituality until like that happened. And I start talking to people who have lost someone close, and I still blame it on freak psychology, but I'll be damned if the weirdest stuff hasn't happened that I can't explain. One thing we've talked about before, we've talked about ghosts and paranormal, right? And I'm a true believer. Like, I can't say true believer anymore, as there's something weird happening, but like, I am like staunchly like, I don't believe in any sort of afterlife. I don't believe in any sort of, once you're gone, you're dust, like boom, that's it. And people will argue, well, maybe there is something we don't know and we can't explain it, but there could be.
Right.
And I want to go back to this story when I was a little kid. I really wanted to be a meteorologist growing up. That was my thing. I wanted to be the weatherman, dude. I thought the weather was so cool, whether it's, tornadoes or hurricanes, just like weather fascinated me. And I remember I was in 3rd or 4th grade. My mom and dad bought me this weather book, and it was like an official, Smithsonian Institute of the Arts, like science weather book. And it had tons of terminology in there, descriptions of clouds, and then it had this the middle section were just beautiful photos of different types of clouds. So I learned what all these different kind of clouds were, and I was awestruck. And again, I was like 3rd or 4th grade, but I saw something in that book called the Aurora Borealis. We all know what that is, and I remember thinking, that's really cool. Like, that's cool. One day, I want to go see an Aurora Borealis. I want to so bad. I talked about that for years. There was a period, probably 15 or 20 years ago. I was single. I had stupid money because I wasn't spending anything, and I was taking random trips and just crashing on friends' couches. I went to Los Angeles. I went to New York. I was just kind of traveling all over the place, and I had set this idea up. I was like, I'm going to go to Alaska. I want to go to Fairbanks because I want to see the Aurora Borealis. And trip fell through. Ended up not making it, And my mom was like, oh well, one day you'll get up there and you'll see them. Like, I'm not worried about it. You'll find a way to get there. You do all these cool things. Like, you'll make it. And I just never did. I just never returned. I never did. So mom passes away just like a week before her birthday. And it was the night after, so her celebration of life was on her birthday. That was April 18th. I don't know if you remember back what happened last year on April 18th. The evening of April 18th, 2024, for the first time in like 100 plus something years, guess what showed up in central Ohio?
Yeah, you're right. Yep.
It's weird, man. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah.
That's all I'm gonna say.
That's awesome.
I've had conversations with other people who have like lost a loved one like that, and everybody's always said the same thing. They always kind of come back to that, and they're like just weird stuff, like a light flicker, but something very subtle, and one of those, like, if you know, and like old Ryan would argue like it's coincidence, your brain is making you think these things. But that was something that, why was the Aurora Borealis in central Ohio for the first time in God knows how long?
Yep.
Why did that show up at that time?
That's awesome. Yeah.
It's weird, man.
Yeah.
It's weird, and it's gotten me like I think a lot about that because it's just when I always think it's a coincidence. It's a coincidence. That's how I would argue. It's just a coincidence. Like you're overthinking it. It's a pretty fucking crazy coincidence in my opinion.
Yeah.
That's pretty gnarly.
For sure.
Right. So that's been a whole weird thing.
I mean, even kind of going off on that, or off of that, like being somebody who I would say like lives such a joy-filled, experience-filled life, where everything is kind of like, this is fun, or this is funny, or this is cool, or this is wacky, and all that sort of stuff. Like, I guess the simple question, but still specifically to you, like, how do you handle that? How does that change things in that moment? Like, is it, I mean, and I know that that's such a, on one hand, that's a dumb thing to ask, because losing a parent, losing anybody, yeah, it fucking sucks. It's shitty. It's like awful. But I guess like specifically for you, like how do you handle that when that happens? Like what comes after that? Like
it was, I mean, I was like, my brakes were fully on, like my foot was on the brake pedal, man. Like it was, I had to really reel things back. I was reeling, and I would even argue I'm still reeling. It's awful.
Fair, yeah.
I've learned that grief is the hardest thing to have to deal with when it's so deep, and like watching something like that happen, and it's your mom, and watching all that go down, and there was no foot forward. It was really like I had to lock in and kind of go just on a day-to-day basis. Thankfully I have an incredible like friend support. I've got incredible, like my workplace was super cool with stuff, and when they talk about like random breakdowns in the middle of the day for absolutely no reason, that stuff happened all the time, and it still happens, not as much as it did, but I had to pump the brakes real hard and really just kind of reflect on like, oh shit, like that made death real, like it's there, it's coming for all of us, we're like everyone's gonna die, but that was just a super real thing to have to go through. And so I was really kind of moving forward with just some baby steps. I didn't really know, I had a 15-year anniversary show that I wanted to do in July, and performance is therapy, live performance is therapy. There's everything involved is just something I love. I love going to a music venue and saying, hey, I'm Ryan Francis. I do this act called Euge. I want to sell tickets, and I want to make you money, and I also want to, I just want to have a fun night. I want people to come out and like just have an eclectic lineup, and I want to do this, and I want to show you I can do this because I'm going to bring you the people that you need. I love selling tickets. I think marketing tickets is it's just fun. I don't know what it is. I'm a crazy. No one likes it. I've always loved doing that. And so that allowed me, after everything happened in April, I took a little stint. I kind of drove away, turned the phone off for like a week, reset, and then just really, what do you do when you get back? You go in extra fucking hard on the next project, and you do super well. And I had that show scheduled. It was the day one of two 15-year anniversaries. I kind of wanted to do a little punk rock show with my friends, and then do a hip hop show with my friends. So I kind of split them up. And one was July, one was in November, and we started the Rumba. We did the Rumba Cafe announcement and just went super hard. And the show was great. I mean, we had like 120 some people in the door, which is, I mean, you've been to Rumba Cafe. It was a great show. And then I got the email. That changed a lot of like just stuff when it comes to performance art and Euge. I've spent, at that point I had spent 15 years doing this thing, the Huge Holiday Show, for 10 years, and I think that what I do, and it's understandable, isn't taken very seriously by people. You know, the point is entertainment. I don't really give a shit if you like nerdcore hip hop or not. I don't care. But if you walked away from one of my shows going, that shit wasn't entertaining, then I'm like, okay, you're probably not the person that should have been in this room.
Yeah, you might just not have fun with most things.
Right. And that's okay. It's not everybody's thing, for sure. But there was like this legitimacy thing. I mean, kind of going back to like, when would you want to hang it up? And if I couldn't sell tickets and I couldn't get people to come and watch the show, I would really that weighs on you after so long, and you have to kind of cut those losses. We were talking about earlier, okay, it's got this much focus here, and I'm going to move it down here and put it kind of on a back burner for a bit. I was getting to that point, and then that's when Riot Fest happened to reach out and say, hey, you want to play like stage at Riot Fest? And it's just like, whoa, this is crazy. This is absolute madness. Having to keep something like that under wraps with people was incredibly difficult. And then when they made that announcement, and my phone was blowing up just saying, how? Like, why? How? And I've been super straightforward, with everyone. And it's like, this kind of goes into a really important thing. This to me is super important, as far as like, whether you're talking about career progression, if you're talking about pursuing a hobby, like in the arts, entertainment, anything. Make friends, man. Make friends. Talk to people everywhere you go. Maintain relationships as best as you can. See people. Be there for people. Make friends. Because, like, friends can really help out in, like, a tough time. And, I had some really good friends that I stayed in touch with. I worked at Riot Fest for a while, and there was always kind of a joke like, oh, Euge should play Riot Fest one year, and it's always kind of one of those ha ha ha. Like, I know that I'm not going to, like, no one's gonna see my name and go, I'm buying a ticket because Euge is playing. Yeah. I don't get out of Columbus, that doesn't happen, and they did it, and I couldn't. It couldn't have happened a better year, Yeah. They had told me they thought about it for the year before, and that would have been great. Mom would have been around to see that. I had an opportunity to take, my sister and my dad, and my girlfriend, her kids, and then her sister. Like, I got this group of people together, and we went to Riot Fest. They got to experience like what it's like to be backstage at like a big festival, and being able to share that opportunity with just like some of my best friends and family. That was like the coolest thing ever, and it couldn't have come at like a better point in my life, because I was like obviously so devastated with what happened with Mom, and that was so rough. And then here we are, announcement for Riot Fest, and then guess whose email starts blowing up with like local promoters, and then other bands started reaching out to me. My bookings locally like just skyrocketed. Yeah, that was crazy. Yeah. And it was such a cool thing, and I will forever be grateful for that team to do what they did and extend an invitation to play, in my opinion, the best punk festival in the entire country, if not the world. I mean, it's an incredible festival, and I got to do that, man. Yeah, I was on the main stage, dude. Rob Zombie was on my stage. Guar was on my stage. I saw all their stuff on it was wild. Like, yeah, having that out of body experience on a stage that big, and doing your thing. I could have thrown up standing backstage. Like it was just one of those moments where it's like, I'm gonna go out and it's all autopilot. You get out and do the thing, and you're just, the words are coming out. I don't know what I'm saying, but I'm saying stuff. And that was cool. Something like that just like changed so many things for me. Yeah. Forbes, I think Forbes magazine did a little news article on it, put me in the headline. Yeah, there was like Slayer, Rob Zombie, and Euge,
Yep.
like in the headline.
I remember
and I'm like,
seeing it.
what? Why did they do that? They published a Speedo photo of that in that article, and it going back to like legitimacy, and it was very honoring to be recognized for putting in the work and the time to put all that stuff together, and then to be asked to do an event like that, and then people finally going, wow, like, so if they think you're cool, maybe your show's worth checking out. Mm-hmm. And it's been like ever since then. We've been getting on all kinds of shows. Like Hans Gruber and the Diehards, I think I opened up for them. They gave me this Amy Grant T-shirt from Nashville. I've had so much fun being, the punk community really has kind of taken me under their wing, and I perform a lot with punk bands, and it works. It works. It's fun.
I feel like that's like a near perfect fusion of just fun at a show.
Yeah.
Like, you don't also have to be playing punk music.
Yeah.
It's just, hey, we're here to have fun, and here's a nerdcore set, and then here's a punk set, and there's no, it doesn't have to be like, well, is this super cool, or you like blah, blah, blah. It's like,
exactly.
No, we're here to just hang out and have fun and perform and all this. And like, I also want to say too, like, props to you for even accepting Riot Fest during that time. And I know that sounds crazy to be like, well, yeah, great opportunity, right? But like, I've canceled recordings of this podcast for less.
Yeah.
Of where I have just been dealing with something kind of crappy, and that day I felt pretty off.
Yeah.
And I've been like, I don't think I can sit and talk to somebody about them for 2 hours properly. I need to cancel or reschedule. So even that, like, I don't want to skim over that too much of like, props for still in that moment having the after effects and the domino effect of something that comes after, experiencing the loss of somebody like that. Props for even being able to be like, you know what? Yes, what a cool experience. I will get myself and my team ready. I will go. I will make the most of this. And you even mentioning, the value of being able to give that experience to your other family members and stuff like that. It wasn't just, you being like, oh, cool, thank goodness I got this cool opportunity so I can take my mind off of whatever. I'm just going to go do this thing.
Right.
It still got to be like, yes, it's an exciting thing in that side, but it's also, I get to have the celebration with my friends and my family, and we just get to go and have fun, perform on this dope stage for this rad thing. And so I just want to make note of that before we kind of continue. That genuinely, like, because I'm a very, very, very overly emotional person.
Yeah.
Not in the sense of like, nothing will make me angry and stuff. I'm not like that sort of like, fuck you, but like on the softer side of like, things really hit me and really, really set with me. And so again, like I said, like there have been things that I like have just been like, no, I can't sit and talk to somebody for 2 hours on this podcast today because I just had this hard thing happen to me last night. I cannot do it. And things, that's minuscule in the large grand scheme of things. But like, I just think it's worth noting and just giving you props for like, just continuing on the train when it would have been the easiest, and I mean easiest in a positive way.
Yeah.
It would have been the appropriate thing is to just halt the train completely and be like, this is an amazing opportunity, but I cannot.
Yeah.
I cannot. And even if there were times where maybe you felt like you could not, but you were like, I'm still going to push through and I'm going to make this freaking show happen and stuff. Like, again, I think that pointing out things like that is always vastly important because it's easy in someone's story to talk about, like, I got this cool thing and it got me through this rough period, but it's like, we still carry those rough periods and those feelings, as you were saying. You're still carrying that into those cool things.
Absolutely. Yeah,
and
absolutely.
I think it takes a lot of us human beings to still do those cool things and show up in the way that we need to show up while we're carrying these new anchors that form via whatever grief we're going through or loss or whatever it is. So I just wanted to pause for a second and give you props for
Thanks,
just
Ross.
doing that and allowing yourself to still experience that.
Yeah, I mean, I was very, entertainment is my therapy. I feel like, if I'm sure you've got some favorite bands. If you are in a slump or a sludge and one of your top 10 bands happens to roll through town and it's a fucking blessing and you grab your ticket, maybe you go with someone else, maybe you just go solo.
Yeah.
And you get to have your time, you get to have your moment and listen to music and watch some art and really like enjoy that. And that's how I felt, with just performing. It's like, I'm going to do something silly. I'm going to put on the silly glasses. I'm going to throw on the Speedo and let my fat jiggle out. Like, we're a party. Like, I want to have fun and put on a really, really good show for folks. And twas the night before Riot Fest. We were, me and the crew were on site already. We weren't at Riot Fest. We were in Chicago. It was like Thursday. We performed on Sunday, and we got in early. We got in on like Thursday night. And my friend John Lavelle, he relocated to Boston. So John Lavelle performed with me for a few years. We went to the Alamo together when we went to the Nerdcore Days event down at South by Southwest during that time. So he was performing with me at the time. We did a lot together. And so I've been performing recently with AJB. Johnny Barton, we met at my current company. He's joined the ranks and he performs with me a lot. He's got solo stuff that's out too that's incredible. And Axe Stinnett, he's been performing with me as well. So those two guys have been with me recently. And I reached out to John, who was in Boston, and I said, well, motherfucker, you're getting on this stage with me. Don't think that you're not, because you were part of this before this happened, and we're all doing this together. It's going to be the four of us. And fast forward, so John's in. We had a few rehearsals and whatnot. And Thursday night, he pulls me aside. We're at the hotel, and he's like, "Hey, there's something I really want to give to you." And this motherfucker, this guy, I'm gonna cry or some shit right now. Oh, shit. He pulled out a fucking Funko Pop of my mom.
Wow.
He pulled that out, and he was like, she's going on stage with us on Sunday. That was crazy shit.
That is amazing.
It was cool. It was,
wow.
Yeah, that was cool. There's I'm like not a planner at all. There had been people saying like, "Are you recording your set? Are you doing any of that?" And all of that to me, it's dumb. I've always been in a live in the moment kind of thing. Like, if there's a recording, then there's a recording. I mean, if you want to record it. I'm not recording anything. Like, it's just not on my plate to give a fuck about. Like,
yeah.
Someone else do it if you want to do it. I would appreciate it, but my plate's too full. And so there were a lot of videos. And our entrance, we had a very specific entrance. I have my little iPad set up. We're the first band to open the main stage. So we're opening the main stage. We had a little bit of a rain delay. People were coming in. And John has to walk out from backstage to the stage to hit play on the iPad. We're always arguing who's going to hit play on the iPad. And that's every show. Right. So John wanted to go out and yell it's clobberin' time to pay homage to CM Punk. And he does.
It's funny. I thought you were going to say Thing, but it was actually CM Punk. That's amazing.
So he does that, but when he walks out, he takes my mom's little Funko Pop and sets it right there on the table. So her little Funko Pop was on the stage the whole time. And we have video of it, and it's cool seeing
that
like
is sick.
You see that like when you're looking at everybody's Instagram videos from the day when I was going through all that stuff at the end of the day. For weeks I was getting tagged and stuff, and it was just always it was there on the table like the whole time.
Yeah,
it was there, and it was
that is cool.
It was cool. I love that guy to death, and that was like one of the kindest things ever. My sister was there, like my dad was there, which I can never get my dad to come out to. He's down in Atlanta. He's down in Atlanta. So travel's like really tough, but I had been trying to get him to a Riot Fest for a long time, and I was like, all right, dude, like
if there's ever one.
All right, if there's one,
I'm on the stage.
This is the one.
Let's
I'm
go.
going to play. This is never happening again.
Yeah.
So like you got to come to this one. And I'm glad that he did. I'm glad that he got to like be there and hang out with my sister. He took his first shot of Malort that day. He's not like much of a drinker, but he was putting them back. It was really fun.
I'm not a drinker, so I've never had it, but I've often heard that Malort is terrible. Is
terrible.
That the thing? That's like the
terrible
joke, right? It's like awful.
Kind of, yeah. It is really bad. It's almost like. But I love it, though. It's so weird because it is terrible, and I love introducing people to it because it's so bad and to get their reaction. But it's a Chicago staple. So, like, if I find a bar around here that has it, I'll have a shot of it, and it always takes me back to, being in Chicago. It's terrible. It's like such a god-awful thing, but
right.
it's absolutely memorable. It's like my show. I feel like Malort is a huge show. Like, you may not like what you see or taste, but you're going to come back to it because it's kind of entertaining.
You're going to tell people about your experience with it.
Right, exactly. Exactly.
Before we continue with like what came from, Riot Fest and all that sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I do want to talk a little bit more on something you mentioned of like living in the moment.
Yeah.
And like and that was more so for the example of like, hey, I'm not worried about filming things, but if somebody happens to, and I don't know, I guess the major point that I want to give here or get from you, but like, I think even that is like a tiny, very valuable thing, especially nowadays, because I battle with that feeling of living in the moment and just experiencing life and not worrying about, are we making content out of this?
Right. Oh,
all the time.
Sure.
Now, it's also probably quite contradictive of me to say that because the majority of my career is being built around making visual art out of things. And I kind of hate the word content, but effectively making content out of everything. Yeah. You and I are having a great conversation right now, but we're recording it and it's being shared as a podcast. Like,
right.
Like there's value in that, but ultimately at the end of the day, it's like, oh yeah, it's going to get turned into content as well.
Yeah.
But I don't try to do these things for the content, right? I'm not, it's like, I love to capture photos or video of something to maybe turn it into an art project based off of that experience, or just to log and journal the experience of like, I did this thing, isn't that fun?
Yeah.
Not doing it to be an influencer, not doing it to get attention, just doing it to capture and to share, to capture that moment. So I say all of that to say that like I often, I struggle with that thought. And so I just think it's really cool, honestly, that you even point out, I don't focus on that a whole lot. Because yes, in a marketing sense, we could sit here and be like, oh, dude,
should you
capture that stuff, right?
Yeah, I should be.
There is the creative director part of me that's like, oh yeah, there is value in anybody, doing art or entertainment. Yeah, capture that stuff. But as a human being who has grown more and more to, this kind of goes back to the growing up thing we were talking about earlier, like, I've grown more and more to almost rebel against, and this is so silly to say, but kind of really rebelling against the system now, where I'm like, I don't want to make content out of every freaking thing I experience. Where it's like, my rebelling is, I just want to experience life for the fun of it. I don't even care. The thing I do create, I'm not worried about whether it gets a bunch of views or not.
Yeah.
Whatever. I did it and I shared it, and now I got to share it with other people, and hopefully they get something from it. And that is the value.
Yeah.
While stepping off of my soapbox, I just wanted to say, like, I think that's rad, honestly. Like, yes, there's an argument for both sides.
Yeah. Oh,
but
for sure.
That even kind of connects back to, like, how I set a lot of this up at the beginning of, like, your last episode is one of my favorite ones because it's so many stories about just living and experiencing life. And so even doing something like Riot Fest, like, it did get captured, plenty of video and photo, and a Forbes article came out of it. But it's also still fun to still, like, there's nothing wrong with your number one focus not being, how am I capturing this?
Right.
How are we, and I'm not saying that's a bad thing. Right. If you were, it's still good. Hey, yes. Document the stuff. That's awesome.
Yeah.
But it's still cool to just simply meet or talk to anybody who has maintained the idea of, this is about the experience and the show and the performance, the connection with the people, and just having fun with my friends. Like,
Yep.
I ultimately don't know what the point of that little ramble I just gave you was, other than just to be like, hey, I think just living life and experiencing it for the sake of that is a good thing.
Yeah. Well, it goes, this crossed my mind, and this is going back to our earlier conversation. You had mentioned it about, getting older. We have 6 years in between us, right? So when I grew up with disposable cameras, flip phones, and smartphones didn't really start to become a thing until I was well into my career working at, a telecommunications company. Mm-hmm. And YouTube was in its infancy, I was an adult when all this stuff was kind of happening, YouTube was more like high school, but you know what I'm saying, things, mm-hmm. technology really started to grow and escalate at that time. So all the, capturing content, doing all the things like TikTok. I don't even have I have a TikTok. I have a bunch of followers on it, but I haven't posted anything to it. I just, it exists, and I'm scared to even, I'm horrified. You have to teach me.
Honestly, I would love to talk about it, because I think so much of my perspective is based off of what we are talking about right now, of how to still create and share, but have fun doing it, and create but not care about it.
Yeah.
So we'll circle back to that. At some point.
Sure. But I've always been, I'm the grumpy old man when I see a bunch of phones up at concerts. You see a bunch of phones go up, and you're like, man, your sound quality is going to suck. Literally look around you, everybody's taking the same thing.
See it with your eyes.
And I have patience to where, hey, you want to grab a picture or a video clip to have photo evidence of the moment yourself. I think that's cool. Mm-hmm. I don't think that you should grab because I don't like being a pain in the ass to anybody else, if that makes sense. Sure. I want to stay out of everybody's way. So if I'm holding up my phone, someone behind me may not be able to see, and that destroys me inside. I don't, if someone is short and they're standing behind me, I feel guilty for being in front of them.
I don't want to be on my shoulders. Get up
right.
Here.
I want to relocate. I don't want to be on anyone's radar. I just kind of want to be there. Mm-hmm. And, I'll grab, I will grab my photos and stuff, but at the end of the day, I'm more I'm here, man. I've got, if you and I went to a show, you bet your ass we're going to go as close as we can to the stage and grab a little selfie before the show starts, because, hey, that's all I need, man. I just need to know I was with Ross at this concert and we caught this picture.
Yep.
I don't need anything else. Unless it was a set list that we happened to grab at the end of the night.
Right,
I would grab that and then frame it and hang it up. But,
yes.
But other than that, I don't need to have my phone out, and it's just not something. It's not something that it's not something I think about.
It's not, and this is a whole other conversation ultimately, but I don't personally know the value of recording an entire set through your phone to watch it back later. I don't know,
right?
Because it's this weird thing, and you see this discourse online a lot nowadays.
Oh, absolutely,
because it's such a thing. But
absolutely.
What's the you're trading off your actual real life experiencing of the show to maybe be able to watch back this hour-long video on your couch later? I'm not saying there's not value, and again, documenting the thing and record your favorite song. You know what? Sure, whatever.
Absolutely.
But the whole I've never really, I don't understand. It's if you want to grab a quick clip of your favorite chorus or grab some cool photos or whatever, it's documenting is fine, but I've never understood the same thing with fireworks. Why don't record?
Let's go down those goddamn kids letting off fireworks.
All these kids. I don't know why I just started Jesse Ventura-ing.
I did the same thing. I don't know. I felt like I was in my Clint Eastwood Gran Torino voice, get off my lawn.
I don't know what happened there. Yeah.
But yes, fireworks.
I'm not gonna watch your fireworks video. It's.
But the capturing of the concerts or anything like that, and you capture the whole concert, to me it's why did you just pay $150 to work? Because you're going to try to monetize that, you're going to throw that up and get your views. You're paying to work. Why would you do that?
If you wanted to watch a screened version of it, I'm sure there's a stream of it on YouTube.
Oh yeah,
professionally
done, and it sounds so much better and looks so much better, and you're getting all the angles instead of you in the nosebleeds zoomed in all the way, so the lead singer literally looks pixelated.
Exactly. Those are problems we're not going to be able to solve whatsoever.
No, but damn it, those damn kids.
Someone somewhere needs to get these kids in check. From Minnesota.
Lights of fireworks.
Yeah. You know, someone somewhere is like, I can't believe this 40-year-old and 32-year-old are complaining about my videos. But no, it really does, like, you know, I guess the ultimate point being, like, I just love the idea of just experiencing the thing. I would, while we're on the subject, like, obviously we don't have to talk, like, specific details to, you know, we can keep some of that stuff off the pod, but, like, where do you sit personally when it comes to Euge?
Yeah.
And marketing and branding, and like you said, you have a TikTok, but you're not exactly, you don't want to make it or whatever. Like, where are you at with all of that? Because I do think it's so interesting to, like, you've marketed everything up until now off of just, like, I make the music, I release it, I play a show, here we go.
Yeah. I primarily use Instagram. I'm kind of figuring out how Reels work. I've learned how to do collaborations. I'm not good at this kind of stuff. I'm just not good. And I'm really only leveraging the fact that I've got Instagram, which is connected to Facebook. They're both the same thing, but they're not. And Facebook is a terrible, terrible place.
Yeah.
I don't want to have it, and I don't think I need to have it if I actually got the TikTok thing up and running. I don't know. I'm a mess. I have no idea what I'm doing. I just try to post in my stories.
Yeah,
I post a couple stories every day just so people can click through and they see the name or whatever. That's really it. I mean, that's it.
Yeah.
That's it. When it comes to, like, tickets and stuff, like, my stories have done really well at selling tickets. People are getting, like, they're getting the ticket link, and that's all I really give a shit about. No one, I mean, people go and listen to the music. There were 2 songs that were released. I think I was granted one of the last GCAC grants for music.
Going down in history here.
I got one of the last ones. But one that was gifted prior to that, AJB, had a song. He took myself and Axe down to Rock Candy Records in Asheville, North Carolina. Brilliant place. This guy Matt is the engineer. He is phenomenal. He's in a band called 11D7.
Okay, I feel like I've heard of that. Yeah,
they're like, I almost said it just like so cliche. It was like, they're big in Japan. They are. They're super. They do have a good following here in the States, but they're big. They're big in Japan. Went out to his place, and AJB recorded one of his singles that just released on Anna Kendrick's birthday.
Nice.
It was August 9th.
Okay.
If I messed up that date, he's going to kill me. But I think it was August 9th. Anna Kendrick's birthday. It's called Always Just Breathe, and it features myself and Axe.
Yeah.
Song's great. And then we recorded a huge song called Hummus on a Cracker.
Yep.
Also with AJB and Axe. So the 3 of us went down there, but that was through, like, the GCAC funding.
Cool.
That we got to do that. I have no idea where the fuck I was going with that.
That trailed off from the
did trail off.
Content creation and social media.
So here we are. We put out these 2 brand new songs. They sound fantastic, and I was we had some significant playback. You know, like Spotify numbers looked great. We had some music sales for sure, all promoted through, like, stories and stuff. I mean, that's really where it came from. That's the extent of my marketing. It's not great. It's not great. Like, I wish I was in a financial position to be like, I need a guy. You do this.
Just run it for me.
You just do this.
Right, of
Logos,
course.
graphic design. Like, Axe is always throwing me just the craziest stuff. Axe does graphic design work, and I got to tell you, he prints off stickers like nobody's business. Nice. I get he puts off stickers, he makes all these different logos and just amazing art. He's an incredible hip hop artist, and he does a lot of, like, marketing stuff. He does brilliantly with, like, different band flyers and whatnot. And he's always like, man, like, your social media could be doing a little better than what it is.
That's funny. Yeah,
I'm like, leave me alone, man. I'm just trying to get by.
He's like, hey, get on social media more. You missed my fireworks video I posted last week, and it's a whole set of fireworks. You could have seen them. Yeah, no, I just asked that out of curiosity because it is.
Yeah.
And I think maybe we can dig into that more off the pod.
Yeah.
But it is so interesting because, again, I'm probably just going to keep hyping you up throughout the episode, but, like, I think you're just such an interesting, fun person who just does cool shit. And, like, there is a part of me that's like, yeah, dude, I think that, like, you could find I don't have to care way to share your adventures and stuff on a TikTok or whatever.
Yeah.
And I do think it would like, to your friend's point, like I do think it would be like, oh yeah, I think that would actually prop you up even more for things. So yeah,
I gotta look into that. I gotta get that done.
Well, yeah, we'll figure that out. We'll figure that out at some point. I also do want to talk about those songs.
Yeah,
and we can talk about. I mean, we're talking huge. And we'll get back to the after effects of Riot Fest for sure.
Yeah.
But I do, you mentioned the songs. One, I have to say, Hummus on a Cracker was stuck in my head for about a week.
Oh, you listened to it?
Yes.
Nah. Oh, thanks, man.
It was.
Sweet.
Yeah, I'm a follower on Spotify.
Okay.
Yeah, it was stuck in my head for like a week straight. And then I just listened to Always Just Breathe.
Okay.
Different vibe of a song, I feel like.
Very much.
Correct me if I'm wrong, but like, what a dope concept. And maybe you can explain more of the, like, I took it as like kind of a believe in yourself type song.
Very much.
Is that accurate? Like, it wasn't, I don't feel like it was normally in the nostalgia genre or the, something like that. It was kind of a, hey, I'm talking about these hardships about myself or the way I view myself, and here's a reminder to just keep going or whatever. Obviously, you can actually explain the song, but that was what I took from it when I listened. Like, I don't.
Yeah, that's it. So it's so funny. You recognize the difference between the two. So Hummus on a Cracker, hey motherfucker, get hummus on a cracker. Huge song. Like, I'm gonna be like, have you ever had a chickpea in your mouth? Yeah, I mean, like that is what I have come to really enjoy, is just the funny stuff, the dirty stuff, and a lot of swearing. I like that. Like, it performs well. Johnny Barton, AJB, wrote Always Just Breathe. That is his song. Mm-hmm. There features myself and Axe. And so he wrote the song about, like having stage fright. Like, he doesn't get stage fright, but there was a show that I did. I was opening for this guy named Comedic Cody. I had no business doing it. It was a very strange show because he's a TikTok guy. Okay. He's a comedian. And when I got to the venue, there was going to be a stand-up comedian. It was Jesse Pimpinella. I don't know if you've...
Yeah, I know Jesse.
So Jesse Pimpinella was there, and I had no clue. I'm like, wait, what? It was him, and then a huge set, and then Comedic Cody. And then there were a bunch of seats, like, on the floor. And I'm like, what is that? What is this? What are we doing? So we were doing a set in the middle of a comedy show. And there were a lot of people there. And we did sound check. This was like a metal venue, and so when they flipped the monitors, the levels were blasted my ears out. Like, it was so bad. Like, I had ringing in my ears for like 30 minutes. It was real bad. I got super nervous and like super anxious. I threw up, and I just was like, holy crap. And every show I do get anxious. I get nervous every show. Like, that has never gone away, and I like it though. I think it's fine.
Yeah.
But the song that he wrote was exactly that. It was about that. He, on Johnny's verse, he just kind of explains, like, he doesn't get stage fright, but then, like, in my verse, I'm like, yep, I've done a lot of stuff, but I still definitely, like, have anxiety, and I still have, I still go through the motions, but that's definitely what the song is about. It's really just kind of a pump yourself up, and it's like what the title says, just breathe. Like, you'll be good, man. Like, just like Axe has his verse where he touches on, taking medications or things like that to kind of help ease any sort of like anxiety or anything like that. Seeing a therapist, those things. But it's an incredibly well written song, and that's all Johnny Barton, AJB. Yeah, listen to that song. It's really, really good.
Yeah, and I will echo that. Like, when it dropped, I checked it out and I was like, this is a different vibe.
Yeah.
Like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, okay, this is a feature on a collaboration between a couple artists, but I was like, yeah, this is a little bit different than blow motherfucker blow.
Little different from the motherfuckers.
It was definitely interesting, and I was like, this is pretty cool. Like, even just from a song standpoint on its own, just everybody kind of, hey, I'm gonna get on here and I'm gonna sing about the hardships that I face and the struggles that I have to overcome, and then it's ultimately again a reminder of just breathe. You got it. You can get through it. I'm like, okay, what a dope ass song. Like,
it really. I mean, when he pitched that song to us, and when I went through and read the lyrics and everything, it was just like he wrote the whole thing, and he wrote the whole thing, and he nailed everything, like especially for like my verse, and it just goes back to those moments where all four of us were backstage at Riot Fest. We all had those same butterflies, and whether it's Riot Fest or 50 people at Rumba Cafe, I still get nervous and I get butterflies because I'm a perfectionist, and I still feel those things. So that song means a lot to me because I feel like I could use it, and I need to probably listen to what the fuck I'm saying and listen to what my buddies are saying on that track too, because I think that the message is extremely important for me, and I'm sure for a lot of other people.
Yeah, 100%. Now let's go back to the Riot Fest stuff a little bit. Because we mentioned it earlier. We were kind of starting to lay the runway of kind of the domino effect that comes after that. You said, local bookings kind of popped up and all this sort of stuff. So I guess, we talked about the experience of Riot Fest. Mm-hmm. We get Forbes, which is so freaking fun and
ridiculous.
Crazy.
Yeah. What
all kind of comes after Riot Fest? Like what is, huge after that event?
Well, it was nice, being asked to play shows. I've never not been asked to do shows, but I've over the years I was putting my own shows together. So I'd build my own show. So it was nice getting invites to shows that I may not have performed on beforehand. We got to open for this duo called Millionaires. I don't know if you remember Millionaires. They were like a Warped Tour duo, like a dance duo. They were fantastic. We played Ace of Cups with them. Got to that was a really cool show opportunity. Story time. So this was something that was wild. So I'm gonna take you way back. Okay, I'm gonna take you way back to early 2000s. Early 2000s, growing up in Heath, Ohio, there was this record store called Threshold Audio and Video. If you wanted a CD, that's where you would go there or Best Buy. Best Buy would have a bulk of the stuff. You want obscure stuff, you go to Threshold Audio and Video. If they don't have it, they would order it for you. There's no internet at the time, so they would have to place the order on your behalf to get that CD in. There was this compilation that was put out called, it was Plea for Peace. I think it was Plea for Peace Volume 2. I think that's it. Someone's going to kill me if I got this wrong. But there was a song on there by a band called The Amazing Transparent Man. And the song was called The Ocean is a Fuck of a Long Way to Swim. And it's just a silly pop punk emo kind of song. And I fell in out of the whole compilation. Did you have a did you listen to little comp records, little comp CDs and stuff?
Yeah.
And I would always find one or two songs that I just adored, and those would just be on repeat all the time. So that was one of those songs, and I think it was track 1. So it was really easy. I was popping in and it would start playing. I'm like, oh shit, this is great. And they it was still too early for me to be going to shows. I hadn't really gone to shows yet. I think I may have been 14, 13, 14, but I loved this song so much. And I went to Threshold Audio and Video. Do you guys have this CD? No, of course they don't. Yeah, you're in Heath, Ohio. Why would we have an Amazing Transparent Man CD? They ordered it for me, and it was a big deal, and I was super excited. I go back and I pay $17, $18 to have the CD. And then that was, you hear people talk about that was the CD in my Honda Civic throughout high school. That was the album. That was in my CD player that I would listen to on repeat, every song, all the time. And so that was my introduction to this band called Amazing Transparent Man. So during the Huge Holiday Show years, I was reaching out to, I was trying to find the most obscure people to try and connect to that had social media. And again, during that time of the Huge Holiday Show, Cameo wasn't really a thing. There would be some D, E, F list celebrities with an actual personal Facebook account. you could actually get messages to some people, and you could find people who were in bands, you know, and they would respond, you know. And I found this guy named Rick. He was the guitarist. I wasn't sure. He didn't really have he had like a profile picture, but they kind of came around before there's a heavy like social media presence. Like this was MySpace. Like they had some pictures I could find, but nothing really high res where I could look at a Facebook profile picture and go, I know that that's him.
Right. They're out there Bigfooting it a little bit.
Yeah, so I wasn't really sure. But I had sent him a friend request, and I gave him a pitch, and I was like, hey, you want to come out and play an acoustic guitar? I don't give a fuck if no one knows who you are in Columbus, Ohio. I don't give a fuck that you haven't played forever. I like to book artists that I like, and if other people don't like it, they can fuck off because I'm going to take care of your travel. Like, I don't care. Like, it'll be fun, and I want to hear your songs live because I never have seen you before, and you're like the only band out of everything I've ever listened to that I'd ever want to see. Like, I have never seen you. So he opened the message, and this is like 2014, 2015. He opened the message. Never heard from him. So I was like, well, that's not going to happen. It's probably the wrong guy. And then maybe this guy's dead. I don't know. Like, maybe it went to the wrong place. Fast forward to last October. Get a Facebook message from that fucking profile. Hey, man, just want to let you know, I've been watching you, and you've been doing some cool shit. Can we talk on the phone? And I was like, yes, we can talk on the phone. Please. I get this guy's number. He calls me up. He's the vocalist for Amazing Transparent Man. They're working on getting the band back together to do a show in their hometown of Chicago. And he's like, dude, all the boys have been watching you and like your posts. We fucking love you, dude. Would you like to open our reunion show together? And I'm like, I mean, it was like tears, dude. I was like, what is this life? How does this happen? Like, this is one of those bands. I mean, this is some people's Green Day, you know, like, yeah. And then here he is, like, watching my stuff and enjoying that. And I got to go to Chicago this past January, January or February. I got to open for the Amazing Transparent Man.
So sick.
It was crazy. I met these guys, the band that opened for them, Chart Attack. They dress up as old men. They just dress up as old men down to the Velcro sneakers. And they play cover songs. They just went viral for their Limp Bizkit cover of Break Stuff.
I need to see that.
Oh, you got to see their shit. They're amazing. Okay. And they're doing their own thing. They're literally having a punk rock bingo night. I guess everyone's going to Reggie's in Chicago and playing bingo while they play cover songs.
That's incredible.
And they're like, I mean, it's like Me First and the Gimme Gimmes, but I would say tenfold that they are way more punk rock than Me First and the Gimme Gimmes. The Gimmes are great, don't get me wrong, but Chart Attack, listen to them now. Go listen to Chart Attack. They're fucking amazing, and they were hilarious. All of their recorded songs are fucking amazing. They're so good.
I think I remember seeing you share about playing for this band.
Oh yeah, oh for sure.
Like I remember you shared this story a little bit on social, and I remember being like, it's again, I'm like,
it was one of those things, man. It was just like, this is stupid.
That's so cool.
What the hell? Like, man, no one really knew who they were, but it was like, that was my fucking thing. Like, I found this band from a compilation, and I fell in love with them, and I had their album, and that was on rotation. That could have easily been Good Charlotte or Yellow Card. It could have been a slew of other bands, but this was my fucking band. This was did you ever run into like, you're cooler if you could name the more obscure fucking band? Like, I listen to Laxative XO, and you're like, who the fuck is that? They sound like crazy. Oh, dude, they're like sludge metal. They're great. Yeah. But just some obscure bullshit. That was my obscurity. I loved them for that. I'd always throw their name out there. And they came after me and said, "Hey, let's work." And
which is so sick.
That was incredible. That was just this past January. It was nuts. It was so much fun.
And what a wild trajectory to send a message, kind of pour your heart out a little bit of like, I freaking love you guys. Let me get you on a show, please.
Yeah.
To have zero response or anything that comes from that. but know that they've been like lurking essentially
That's
this
it.
entire time.
The entire time.
And then they were like, you know what? Now's the time because now
He didn't block me.
We're doing something. Yeah,
He didn't block me. He was
right.
motherfucker was watching me. Like, oh shit, okay.
Which, again, it's like I'm kind of gonna turn that into like what I feel like is a cooler cooler, larger lesson out of that is like it would have been really easy to take no response from that message as the ultimate no, pie in the face, F off kid, who cares? Like, and hey, people ghost on everything left and right nowadays with social media. But how cool is it that like you could have taken that and been like, you know what? Fuck these guys. I fucking hate them. I'm not doing that shit. I don't care. Instead it's like you just kept doing your thing and you're like, you know what? I tried.
Oh,
and
yeah.
One, even the seed of taking the swing. That was a lot of what you talked about in your first episode was just try it. Just send the message. Just reach out. Just try the thing. Who cares?
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. And it's like that's proof right there of like you just do it. You take the swing. It might not immediately pay off, but hey, in a weird roundabout way, it paid off years later. Where then they were like, actually, we're not going to play a show for you. Will you come play ours?
Oh, dude, yeah. I still think, like, thinking back to that phone call, I mean, getting the Riot Fest email was, like, one thing. Getting that phone call from Rick was, like, just as cool.
So sick.
Just as cool. And it's one of those things that I've always felt like, like telling my dad or my sister or, like, my friends, amazing, transparent man. And they're like, no. I mean, it's like only I can be this excited about this. Like nobody else really gets like to understand how fucking rad that is for like me as an individual.
Yeah.
But that was just one of those cool fucking things. They saw that, they liked what I was putting out on Instagram. You hear that?
You go.
They did like my marketing.
Still works. It still works. Yeah.
bare minimum. But that was just such a cool, that was a really cool, thing. Chart Attack asked me to open for them in this past July in Chicago, doing the same kind of thing. And I had a dear friend of mine's birthday party was that night, and his fiance or significant other asked me to perform at that event. And so I was like,
amazing.
I can't, as much as I want to go back to Chicago and play with Chart Attack, it's my buddy's birthday, and it's a surprise birthday. I was like,
that's awesome.
I'm booked. We're doing that.
Yep.
But I told the guys in Chart Attack, I'm like, let's link up, let's stay in contact, and let's figure out something next year.
Well, Chart Attack, if you're watching this, hey,
Chart Attack,
figure something out.
You guys owe me. I gave you a lot of pudding. I know you guys don't have any teeth. I gave you some pudding on this here podcast.
You took care of.
You guys probably don't even know what a podcast is. Y'all are so old. These goddamn Velcro shoes and shit.
Incredible.
I'm talking to you. Chart Attack. I love you guys. No, seriously. No, I fucking love you.
Do you feel like this is... You kind of said this earlier. But is this maybe like the most, I'll say, busy or active you've been with Euge?
100%.
Like not producing everything yourself. Like I know you said that earlier of like, usually it's been a lot of me making my own shows and doing these things and doing that. Would you say this in the story of Euge is the busiest you've been?
This is nuts, man. This is nuts. Euge was a hobby. I created Euge. I was back in 2009 when my band broke up. I didn't want to put together another band because fuck that. Anyone who's been in a band, if they break up, the last thing you want to do is put another band back together because you have to. Everything has to go right with so many people, and it's tough. It's so hard. So I was like, what can I do by myself? Okay, I've got this laptop. I watch this guy, MC Lars. I can do beats on this laptop, and I'm just going to write silly shit. So that's how it started. It was dumb. I wasn't good at making beats. And so I just did the Euge Holiday show. So once a year, I would do that show. That's the only time I would perform. I would always headline because my friends and family would come out. And so I could bring out anybody and if I performed in front of people, people would leave. People would stay out of respect to watch me. So I always played, and it was more so to make sure everybody got an earlier slot in case people did trickle out. So if there was a dead room, I got the dead room, and nobody had to mess with it. But over the years, I held a crowd between Woodlands and Big Room Bar and all that. And then it just, that was a hobby. And during COVID, I was so bored, and I was doing those, I was doing like the shows. We were doing shows in like our fucking bedrooms.
Yeah,
you know
like
what I mean?
live stream shows.
Yeah. So I was doing like socially distant fest, like I was doing weird stuff like that. I bought, I bought like a little mixer and stuff. I was able to put on an actual show from my fucking bedroom, and so I invested in all that, and I was doing it. I had lights. I had a whole show. It was fun, and that sparked something to like, okay, let's write new music. So that's when I started performing a little bit more, but the ticket sales weren't there. It was just always kind of like I was trying to be super realistic in my approach. Like I can't book all the time because like I'm paying out of pocket for sound. I'm booking shows with myself on the bill where the ticket sales didn't match what I needed to pay the door guy and the sound guy, so I'd be out of pocket hundreds of dollars. So I was kind of just getting fucked, and I'm like, I can't do this anymore. The past 2 years, this kind of happened like slightly before the Riot Fest bump. This was about, it was after we had spoken last. Between 22 and 23, show attendance started to pick up a little bit, and that's because I was releasing more music. I was getting a little bit more creative with the songs, and I think that they were a little bit more fun and dynamic, and it was more of a party, like a really sloppy party. I mean, a real sloppy party. And the show started coming together a little bit more. For the first time in the past 2 years, I'm at this point where I do not necessarily have to put on my own shows anymore, which is great. I get asked to join bills, and that covers it. Getting paid, man. I mean, it's something I talk about a lot, like even at my shows going way back, being in a punk band. It was kind of like, dude, you don't fucking get paid. Like, you just don't. Like, you're lucky if you get gas money to and from the venue. And I've just kind of always lived by that. Like, I don't do this because I want a paycheck. I do this because I fucking love it. Then you get to be about 40, and you're like, fuck, it actually is like, sometimes it does feel like a little bit of work, but for the first time, like, between myself and Axe and AJB, like, we're getting like more than gas money. You know what I mean? More than gas money. That's insane to me. Yeah. That's crazy. But that's what's been happening. And that's just kind of been par for the course for the past couple of years. It's been very, very nice being able to go to a show and knowing like friends, family, and fans are going to show up, and they appreciate what Euge does, what Axe does, and what Johnny, what HAB, what they all bring to the show as well, and they like it. Mm-hmm. That's fucking cool. Like, yeah. That's cool. It's cool feeling, that validation.
For sure.
It's fucking rad.
Yeah.
Nothing beats it.
The last time we talked, had you done the final holiday show?
No, I don't think so. I think I was gearing up for it. I think I promoted it.
Yeah.
I believe I promoted it. That was a two-nighter.
Yeah.
That Phil Moore, we had Phil Moore, the host of Nick Arcade. Mm-hmm. He flew in from Los Angeles, and so night one was stand-up comedy night. So we had a lineup of like 3 or 4 comedians to kind of heat up the crowd, and then we replicated with Blue Television Games, Darby Antle from Blue Television Games. We created an entire Nick Arcade set.
Yeah.
My friend Tom Balin and Alicia Balin, they built podiums, custom podiums that looked identical to what they had on the TV show. We had custom T-shirts made, red and yellow, Nick Arcade. It just said Huge Holiday Show Arcade on them, exactly like the contestant shirts. And we put on, and then Phil was there to host the thing, and we did 2 games. And these kids, these drunk ass kids who thought that they would be the shit at playing games. Oh, they got their asses kicked. It was great. It was so fun watching Phil Moore, this guy you watched on television when you were a kid. You're like, this guy fucking sucks at this game. It was a second time coming out for the show. He had done 2016 with Schaefer the Dark Lord before, and that was so much fun, and we just amplified it and gave it its own night this time.
Yeah. So on that note, like, how did it feel to kind of, I would say, I guess, put a bow on the holiday show?
Oh my God, like, Ross, we that night for the Nick Arcade game show, that night sold out. the second night where I just had bands, I mean multi-genre bands, everybody, all my best friends played, like Kim Byer and the Live Wires, Brave the Sea, AJB did a set, Drew West did a set, everybody, all my friends played. The Tiger Made of Lightning played, everybody fucking played. The final holiday show, and that was all about the music. There was no comedy in between. It was just bands. And we came really close to selling out. I mean, it was close, but Randy from CD 101 was there. He came dressed up as Santa Claus. There could not have been a better way to tie it all off.
Yeah.
It was amazing. It was amazing.
I love that. Yeah.
Everybody was there. Like everybody that I would have wanted to see came out for the final show. And it was like, well, why'd you stop? And it's like, set a goal, man. Set a goal for 10 years, and then we're done.
Yeah.
We hit the 10 years.
Yep.
There's no reason to go to 11. Like maybe we do something similar in the next years, but it's given that freed up my time and ability to focus more on. I should probably do more Euge stuff. So that's what happened.
Yep. Now, you mentioned goals, right?
Yeah.
So we set that goal, all that sort of stuff. Maybe you don't have a super specific answer for this, and that's totally fine. But like, I'm very interested in when you like look ahead now. What are some of those new goals on the list of Ryan Francis? And maybe, dare I say, we talked about this before we were recording, the buried life, right? The idea of a bucket list.
Yeah.
I feel like you're someone that I can actually ask about that, because I always want to bring up the idea of a bucket list and like life goals and stuff all the time.
Yeah.
But I do think like there's not often an easy way I can bring it up to somebody on the show rather than just being super random of like, so what's on your bucket list?
What do you want to do before you die?
Yeah, hope that they've like thought about it. Whether you want to label it larger as like, well, if I had a bucket list and I'm really thinking about it, it's these. Or if it's just kind of that new, achievable goals list and stuff like that.
Yeah.
When you're looking ahead, like what are some things on that list that you want to either experience or do or whatever it may be?
I feel right now my list is relatively small.
Mm-hmm.
Again, it's like going back to talking about what we were before. There's some scary things that are on the bucket list that would be huge risks if not done appropriately. I want to go on tour. And I want to do it correctly. I want to, I don't want to be the guy touring by myself and trying to hope that my name can draw in all these random ass cities. Like I want to book something significant and start the Midwest and kind of build and go from there. My hope and dream would be to be taken out with, a larger act and we both can kind of pull. That's where I would pull ThanksKilling back out. It's like, marketing materials. If you're doing something nationally, I have something nationally that could pull. Mm-hmm. In some places, it would pull enough. So that's one thing. I want to do a tour, whether it's a week, 2 weeks, 50 days. That's a huge thing. I've wanted to do that since I was a kid, and I still have never taken the time. Corporate job always gets in the way.
Right.
So that kind of leads into the second thing. Like, I mean, obviously I want to record new music. So like new music, I constantly want to do that. Corporate job gets in the way. Like paying the bills gets in the way. Like, and when you're on that track, and I've learned this, when you get on that corporate job track, it can be very difficult to try and pursue things like a tour. It can be very difficult. Because of like limited paid time off and like things like that. Those all can stand in the way. And my brain and what I feel on the inside, ever since Mom passed, and again, that weird shit with the Aurora Borealis, I don't know if it's kind of one of those fucking weird things. I'm not sure. I don't know. But for like the past 6 months, I have this voice screaming at me. I've been kind of like, I'm not super happy with my career, and I've been trying to, dive into some career changes, and been striking, getting real, getting that real close, and not getting what I'm throwing for. And that voice is just telling me, quit, and do your thing, man. And it's that's the scary part. I mean, that's scary. You're used to having. I mean, ever since I've been in a corporate job since I was 19.
Okay.
Insurance, a steady paycheck, whether you're working or not. All of those things just kind of come to mind and freak me out. Like, what is it like to be without that? I have never been without that. Even when I got laid off before COVID, I had a job before I even got back to my house from that layoff, right? Like, I have never been without that. And I don't want to be. It literally is like a comfort zone. But there's just something screaming at me internally that's saying, dump it and go fucking do it, dude. Just fucking go do it. Figure it out. And it makes me feel emotional even talking about it, because it's truly something I want to do, and it's something I want to experience. I wrestle with myself because, hearing you say, all these things like, dude, you've done so much, and, you've done these things. I feel like I've been so stale in doing like really fun things for a while. I mean, the Amazing Transparent Man thing was amazing. Like, I'm not trying to take away from Riot Fest or any of those things, but like, yeah. I feel like there's something missing, and I want to find it. And I think that might scratch my itch. Maybe I'll fucking hate it, but I don't think I will, man. I think that that's what I want to do. I want to have a reliable vehicle, and I just want to go travel to a bunch of different places, play in the shittiest bars I can. 1 person, 10 people, I don't fucking care. Like, I want to try it. I want to try it. If I take a loss, I've taken financial losses for 10 years with the holiday show. Nothing new to me, and fuck money. Who fucking cares?
Right.
That causes all the problems. I'm literally debating this in my head. Why? Money. And it sucks that it has to be that way. That is important, but at the same time, are you living life the way that you want to? And if you perish in a bus accident on the way home from this podcast, are you going to be happy with what you did here? I mean, my answer is yes, but I will have left something on the table.
Yeah. I feel like I have that or adjacent conversations like that very often with people.
Yeah.
Where, like, we're always going to need money.
Yeah.
Any time that I, at least personally speaking, have ever been like, man, if I could just get that thing and get the money from that thing, that would help so much. And then 6 months, 1 month after I get the money from that thing, I'm like, I need money from that thing now.
Oh, yeah.
It's never going to change, right?
It's never going to change.
And maybe we've talked about this before, but like, the analogy that I always go with is, if life is a video game, the difficulty setting of life is already on very difficult.
Yeah.
It's already difficult.
Yeah.
Obviously, yes, it's harder for some people, less, yes, obviously that goes without saying. But just in the general analogy here, life is difficult for everybody to some degree.
Yeah.
I try to, once I've, really begun to mature and understand what my strengths are, what I do and do not want to do, a lot about that, what we've been kind of talking about throughout is just living life and experiencing things and just trying things and swinging. And if you miss, then getting the feeling of, well, do I feel like swinging again, or do I feel good enough with that one attempt I made?
Absolutely.
That's all I needed to do.
Yep.
Sometimes the try is the check of the box. It doesn't have to be the accomplishment that perfectly comes from that. But the point I'm making is, life is already set at a very difficult setting. I don't want to do things to make it harder for myself.
Right.
So things like being trapped into the box of, I have to have money dictate every single thing I do, or I have to do these things a certain way, or I can't take those chances because so-and-so said I couldn't take those chances, or it doesn't sound logical to take that chance. Like, and all that's valid.
Yeah.
It's incredibly valid that, you need money to stably survive. Right. I need money. Right. Anybody listening to this or watching this, we all have to have some sort of a relatively stable income.
Yeah.
But at the same time, this is some of that rebellion I talked about earlier. Like, I'm so, kind of over that.
Yeah.
And obviously, it's a whole other conversation for a whole other podcast. Like, the world is crazy, and it's only getting crazier, and all this sort of stuff. So ultimately, I am one of those people that I'm like, okay, control the controllable.
Yep. Yeah, you have to.
What can I control?
Absolutely.
What are the things that I can do? I unfortunately can't change everybody in the world to all of a sudden become more empathetic for their fellow human and care about things that should be cared about.
Right.
But what I can do is the people within my network and my world, I can make sure that I'm spreading a message like that. I can make sure that I'm
100%.
Creating art and telling stories and platforming others or doing anything that I can to do how I see fit to experience joy in my life.
Yeah.
And so, like, while that was kind of a side tangent ramble, I say all of that to say, like, anytime I'm having that conversation with people, maybe there's someone that could give me a opposite argument that says I'm wrong for doing this, but like I always am like, do it.
Yeah.
I am always like, take the bet on yourself, because like a quote unquote regular job is always going to exist.
Yep.
Some with more money than others. Yes.
Right.
It's not always an easy, you can't wake up and just be like, I'm going to go start this job now. It can be difficult.
Right.
But like, I am so in the camp of advocating for just like doing whatever we believe will bring us joy, even if it doesn't maybe on a fundamental level structurally make sense.
Sure. Oh,
you know,
100%
if it's I'm taking a pay cut, or I'm you know, I don't know about this thing that I'm going to go try and do, but I'm going to go try and do it. And and I think there is so much value in letting ourselves try anything.
Yeah.
As you beyond know.
Yeah.
Just try something. Just give it a shot. And if it doesn't work out how you wanted it to, you're going to take something away from that.
Yeah.
It might suck. I'm not saying everything's all sunshine and rainbows all the time. You're going to be like, what the fuck? I can't believe that happened that wrong. But like, you're going to figure out whether you really want it. So then you're going to try it another way until you get it right. Or sometimes there's also nothing wrong with trying something, like I said earlier, and if it doesn't work or doesn't feel how you thought it was going to, just saying, okay, never mind.
Because you can feel validated because you took the time to put in effort to attempt, and it may not have been the outcome you wanted. You gave it a shot, and who fucking cares? You tried. You gave it a shot. And
so many of us don't take the shot.
That's the biggest thing is that's a regret, you know, when you don't take that shot. And that's where I'm at with, you know, the tour thing. I want to manage it to where I could keep the job and do a tour thing, but then it's just kind of like go all in, because you've been saying that for years. Like you've been saying that. So how can we make this a reality, and how can you actually do it?
Yeah.
So we'll see.
Yeah.
It's still like so early. There's a lot, you know, going into next year. I'm working on a new record. I've got some interesting stuff, like some interesting songs, kind of slated already. So we'll see. Let's record them first, and then when that piece is done, the next piece is getting out there and promoting those songs. You typically do that by going on the road and doing shows.
I'm gonna kind of bring us full circle. To. And I genuinely mean this. I have this conversation a lot. There's a lot of people that I know with different talents and all this sort of stuff that I truly, absolutely believe in. You would be one of those people that if you were like, I'm leaving this regular job and I'm going to go figure out something else to do.
Yeah.
I genuinely would be like, yeah, you're someone who could figure it out. Like, you're one of the people who, like...
Oh, shit. Thanks, Ross.
Because you just have always, again, from your first episode to so many stories on this one and to everything in between, you've always found a way.
Yeah.
You've always found a way, whether it's created from an opportunity from a random Facebook message that was sent, or making sure that you were friendly to people the entire time that then paid off years later by just being a friend to people. You know, whatever it is, like, I personally, for whatever it's worth, on this podcast, in this conversation, I genuinely believe that you could figure that stuff out. I really,
Thanks,
really
Ross.
do.
Means a lot, man. Like, coming from you, means a lot.
Yeah, just gonna throw a little bit more praise your way
Thanks,
here.
Man.
Of just like, I really
Ross.
do think that you could figure that out. Like, I really, really do.
We will see.
For whatever it's
see
worth.
what happens.
Yeah.
We'll see what happens. May give it a shot, may not. I don't. Who knows? We'll see. But I'm going to try.
In another 4 years, you'll be back in the podcast. And I'll be like, so how did it all go?
You're going to be... No, in 4 years, I will not be back on the podcast. I'm going to be on The Late Show with Ross.
There we go. Yes.
So there will be the podcast is going to get a very corporate and significant upgrade.
Perfect. We'll practice it right now. All right, here we go. All right, everybody, my guest joining us at this time. You'll know him from ThanksKilling, and you know him from Euge. He's been touring the world for the last 3 years. It's Ryan Francis. Wow.
Oh wow, Ross! It's absolutely incredible to be here. It really feels like just yesterday that we were just sitting in a studio, in Columbus, Ohio, and New York City, dude. You've really come up.
It's crazy. I know. We're here, and we've got our robot audience. ChatGPT has taken over the world. All of our lovely Robo fans out here,
and a robotic Celine Dion. How you brought her here too?
Absolutely, she will sing all the songs that you. Not too much.
I'm so
saliva.
sorry.
It'll
electrocute me.
Short circuit. Well, there you go, folks. You just got a glimpse into the future.
The future. That's what's coming.
Next time Ryan and I sit down for an interview, it's going to be in that scenario.
Yes. So I'm looking forward to robotic Celine Dion. And I'm sorry for anything that happens to that robot. Well, I'm not sorry.
Now that I know what to put in the contract. Are there any major things that you feel like if you walked out of this episode, you'd be like, dude, I can't, we didn't even touch on this, or we didn't talk about this story, like anything you feel like we haven't covered?
Ross, you always get a lot of information out of me that I was never planning on even talking about anyway. So you did that tonight. And truly, just thinking about all these past experiences and the past 4 years and kind of where I'm at now, I think that it's just my biggest takeaway is just be fucking nice to people, man. Especially right now, be kind to people, make friends, build your network. You never fucking know what can, that one phone call, that one email, that one text message. You don't know who's going to hit you up and for what reason. And that's where I am just so incredibly blessed with friends who are in my corner, who have done nothing but be incredible friends to me. And they get theirs back. I try, but to have these absolutely obscene opportunities, and to know you have, some friends in your corner that are just giving you a chance to do something cool. I think that that's so important, and you can't teach that. You just have to just build your network, make friends, and build relationships, because there's nothing more powerful than a relationship like that. Like a friendship it can be very powerful, and it takes a lot from every person to put into the same ball of energy, make friends, and stay in contact, and continue to do so. You can have friends all over the world. Have a friend in fucking Billings, Montana, and if you ever find yourself in Billings, Montana, I guarantee you have a couch to crash on if you're in Billings, Montana for some unfortunate reason.
Billings, Montana.
Is Billings in Montana?
Is it? I don't know. I've never heard of
it. Billings is somewhere.
Shout out to my Billings, Montana listeners and viewers at home.
Billings,
Thank
Montana. I'm
much.
pretty sure I shouldn't be touring. Maybe I need to retract everything that I just said. Maybe I shouldn't be on the road. Clearly, don't even know if Billings, Montana is a city. Now I'm seriously second guessing myself.
No, it definitely could be. It absolutely could be.
I think it's the capital, right?
Billings, Montana.
Billings. Oh, come on. Okay.
Before we wrap stuff up, I want to get.
Can we
get the answer to this? Because now, when you were saying it with such conviction that I was like, absolutely, Billings, Montana, and then I was like, wait, what do we not know about Billings, Montana?
Billings, Montana is the state's largest city, often called the Magic City due to its rapid growth.
Wow. So it's on its way to becoming the capital, is what you're saying.
Yeah, I guess it's not the capital, but it's the biggest city.
It's the largest city. How about
Here,
that?
there's a picture of it. It looks
Billings,
Montana?
Great. That does look pretty
nice. The nightlife looks fantastic there.
That does. Yeah. They probably got a little arts district there. It'd be great.
I'm going to make it right now. If the tour does happen, I'm doing a show in Billings, fucking Montana.
I'm
coming
first.
for you, Billings, Montana, and I don't care.
There we go.
I don't care if you don't even know who I am. I'm coming for you.
Yep, he'll be there. He'll just be on a street corner somewhere.
I will busk
performing huge songs. Because it was set and established the first tour date for the future huge tour. Billings, Montana. Get your tickets now by hitting follow and subscribe for this podcast.
Yeah, that's how you get the ticket.
If you do that, I'll let Ryan know that you did that, and then he'll make sure you get a ticket.
We'll do a very special pre-sale for the Billings, Montana show through this podcast.
Yes,
That's
use the code WYDH. You pay the same price for the ticket, but you can for sure get it. For sure, you absolutely do.
You get a show, Billings. you get a show, B.
Yeah, come on. You might be a growing city, but yeah, come on. How many shows you really getting here? Ryan, before we officially wrap things up, this might honestly be pretty much built off of what you just said, because you did you laid everything out greatly and reminding people to just build the friendships, stay connected, all that sort of stuff. But in the fashion of every other episode of the show, like I've asked you once before, I ask the exact same question at the end of all these episodes. So even if it's something you just said, that's fine, or something entirely new.
This is my favorite part.
If right now you knew that everybody around the world, including people in Billings, Montana, were listening to you speak, and you have a live mic attached to everybody, and you get this one moment to share one final thing with everybody, what do you want to tell them, and what do you really want them to hear more than anything?
Be kind to people. Be kind to your neighbors. Be kind to people who are different from you. You know, that is the most minimal effort that you could put in. If someone cuts you off in traffic, let it roll. Don't be an aggressor. Just be kind. Understand people have rough days. And let things go sometimes. Don't escalate things. Make friends. Be cool with people. Try to understand people that may have, certain different views than you do. Be kind, be kind, be kind. We have lost that. We've lost a lot of that recently. And also call your mom and dad. If you have if you have any sort of relationship with them, good or bad, I encourage you to give them a call, say hello. It sucks when you can't, so please do that. That's important.
Ryan, we just made our second podcast here. I know you don't hear. Dude, that was a absolute blast. I cannot thank you enough for being down to be back on.
Anytime, Ross. I always have such a good time coming on here.
I don't know how we did it, but I feel like we topped the first one.
Man.
This was an absolute blast. Dude, high-fiving it to end us here. Thank you so much, man.
Thanks, Ross.
Dude.